Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and I got a suggestion on the video to do this right now. There isn't that much happening. Free agency is dying down. There's only just a few free agents left in free agency. And that does include Derrick Rose, which I was thinking about, like, hey, maybe I could make a video about Derrick Rose and, just his descendants as a valued prospect and commodity, I guess, just because that guy was a whole other thing 5 years ago. We all know, actually more than 5 years ago, but still, it feels like, as a Bulls fan, it feels like just yesterday when Derrick Rose won that MVP award. And, that was just something I was thinking about. But I did get this comment, and this guy wanted me to talk about what the Timberwolves could possibly do next year, or, maybe years beyond. And I did obviously cover the Jimmy Butler trade. However, I haven't really been putting out content about the other moves they've been making. And, I know every team is trying to do what they can to put themselves in the position they want to be in. For some teams, it's contending, it's rebuilding. Some teams want to be on the come up. The point is, we have a ton of squads trying to exist in their roles. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are trying to build a team that can contend in the future. Now, right now, I look at this squad, and I'll go over the other additions for you guys, because I went over, yes, the Jimmy Butler trade, where Butler was traded for Levine, Chris Dunn, and that pick that would become Lauri Markkanen. And the Timberwolves got that, 16th pick? I think they picked Justin Patton with that pick. I think it was a 16th, right? Yeah, I believe it was a 16th. So they got him, which is pretty nice, which I was kind of mad about, obviously. But the other moves they made, including signing Jeff Teague, signing Taj Gibson, signing Jamal Crawford, or trading for... Wait, no, they signed Jamal Crawford. Yeah, they, he was traded from the Clippers to the Hawks, I believe, and the Hawks waived him. Timberwolves went out and picked him up. He's going to give them some real solid bench production. I'm going to just go over some of these moves and talk about what this team looks like in the future. So the first move they made, I believe it was the Jeff Teague movement. And before you make the Jeff Teague move, you have Butler there. Obviously, your franchise cornerstone, that's Karl-Anthony Towns, and Andrew Wiggins, who you elected to go choose Wiggins over Levine and have Wiggins be that guy. He's going to be part of your big three, your essential big three that you're going to base this team around, which will, of course, be Karl-Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Andrew Wiggins. Now, if you ask me, I think Jimmy Butler is the best player on this team right now, but we all know the main focus of this team, the main guy, the guy that this team will be all about in 2-3 years, the guy that I could see bringing home multiple MVP trophies, leading his team to the NBA Finals. I think he's got a future just that has no limit to this point. He can do whatever he wants with it, with what he's created so far in his NBA career, the foundation he set for himself. That's Karl-Anthony Towns, of course. And yeah, I think that this is a really solid foundation. Not only you have Karl-Anthony Towns, but you had Andrew Wiggins too. You add a superstar in his prime and Jimmy Butler to this team. And hey, if the West wasn't already just this completely stacked, unfair realm of just everybody beating up on each other, whereas in the East, we got LeBron and everybody else. Okay, yeah, the Celtics are going to be decent. I think the Heat and Wizards and Bucks and Raptors will be okay. But no one really compares. Like, the top 8 in the West is going to be insanely better than the top 8 in the East. We already know this. The 8th seed in the West will probably be like the 3rd seed in the East. Again, I mean, it's happened, but still, it's more so because all these superstars are in the West that were in the East, like Jimmy Butler and Paul George and Paul Millsap and so on. So we have this team over here, and this team is really, really solid. On paper, really solid. And like I said, I mean, look, this team would be looking a lot better. We'd be talking about them a lot more if there wasn't the Warriors and the Rockets out here trying to make moves. The Thunder just picked up Paul George. We have all these other teams, and I didn't even talk about the Spurs, but we already know they're going to be up there near 60 wins like they always are. The Timberwolves should be considered near those teams. I would not hesitate to put the Timberwolves in the top 3 or 4 in the Western Conference. Yes, that might sound like a little bit of a stretch. I think at max, they hit the 3rd seed. And I think that's something very possible because Jimmy Butler is a guy playing for the Bulls last season I mean, the Bulls, like, you guys need to look at net rating and stuff like that. Look at the Bulls when Jimmy Butler was on the court, when he was off the court. I mean, the only reason the Bulls were like a 20-win team without him. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. You can go look at the metrics. You can go look at points per 100 possessions or whatever. The team was ass when Jimmy Butler wasn't on the court last year. And he made the team an 8th seed just with his presence. That's what the Timberwolves got. And I think Jimmy Butler is a supremely underrated player just because of the value that he has, the IQ he has, the fact that he has such a good impact on everybody. He plays defense. He scores at an efficient rate, and he scores at a high rate. He's a very underrated playmaker, and he's a legit superstar. So, hey, if you put the right players, I mean, like, he literally flourished in a system without any shooters around him, which was the system he needed. Yeah, this Timberwolves team isn't a whole lot better. I mean, it's better because you look around Jimmy Butler, who are your shooters. I mean, I guess it's Jeff Teague, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns. And then off the bench, of course, you add help with Jamal Crawford, and you have Gorgie Jang off the bench, who's a very underrated player as well. I think they waived Brandon Rush, Cole Aldridge, but that guy Nemanja Bjelica is still there. They have some decent bench players, not a good bench, but I would say a decent bench, because Jamal Crawford's there. And Jamal Crawford's always a 6th Man of the Year candidate, although Jamal Crawford is getting up there in age, which just hasn't really seemed to matter at all because he just keeps getting buckets no matter how old he is. The guy moves like a 23-year-old and he's, what, like 38 or something? It's actually unbelievable. That's one of the more, like, I always have to stress that when I watch Jamal Crawford. I'm kind of getting off topic, but this guy honestly doesn't make any sense how he can move like that. It doesn't make any sense, and nobody talks about it, and I'm a little bit upset at that. Anyway, let's go back to what we were talking about. Jimmy Butler is a huge addition. People are underrating this addition, okay? I know there have been a lot of other great additions, but Jimmy Butler addition, like, you guys are sleeping on that still. The amount of press it's getting, it's still underrated. I'm serious. The Timberwolves should know what they're getting. If they don't think that they're getting a lot, they don't know what they're getting. Okay, so we move on. Jeff Teague, solid point guard, solid role-playing point guard, offensive-minded, very good court vision. He can shoot the ball. He's lightning quick. He can get to the basket and finish. Jeff Teague, biggest liability is probably his defensive ability, or, you know, the fact that he's not going to do anything above and beyond. Jeff Teague is a very predictable player. He's not going to get you 30 a night. He's not going to do anything crazy. His ceiling is low, ceiling is low, his floor is high for what he can contribute to a team, I think, which I hope makes sense, but he's going to need help on defense. He's probably going to give you some good minutes overall in terms of scoring and playmaking. I think that he's just a good impact on this team. I don't think he's going to just blow them away, but hey, maybe with all these distractions, maybe with you have Jimmy Butler, Wiggins, and Towns on this team, and you add Jeff Teague, he's like, what, the 4th guy? Hey, maybe Jeff Teague as a 4th guy can really make a difference because he can go one-on-one with everybody, right? I mean, he's going to be wide open a lot of the time, probably. So he's going to be able to knock down his shots at a higher rate. He's going to be able to create shots. I think that everybody on this team just is going to demand so much attention, and that's going to be a problem for the defense. Then I move on to Taj Gibson. He's a guy that no one's going to be paying attention to because he's going to be the 5th option. And Taj Gibson is very capable of doing that, okay? I think that he is going to be getting a ton of just open dunks. You know, he's a very good rebounder, so he can help out. Him and Cat are going to be monsters on the glass. I think that at the upside, I mean, granted this team works. I think this team will figure it out. They're a lock for the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. If this team doesn't make the playoffs, something is seriously wrong. But I think they're being underestimated. So I hear people talking about 45 wins. Come on, stop it. This team should win 50 games. They should. And that might not even be good enough for the 3rd seed, 4th seed, because the West is going to be insane. 50 wins should not be that much for this team. Like, you look at this roster. Come on, stop it. So the starting lineup is stacked on paper. You got to see how they play. So, you know, we'll take a look at that. This team right now is built to be a top 4 seed. Plain and simple, this team should have home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs next year. That's what they should be shooting for. And in 2 years, this team should be shooting for a championship because you expect Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins to continue their development, expand, become better players than they already are, which is a scary thought. And Jimmy Butler in his prime with those guys, I think the league should be scared, honestly. I don't understand why this isn't a bigger deal. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, Jimmy Butler to the Timberwolves are going to be really good. They're going to be good, whatever. But now I'm looking more into it, looking like, Jesus, like, this team is full of good players. I mean, all 5 of those starters are very capable. So, and the bench, like, yeah, the bench, if there's any weakness, it's the bench and maybe perimeter shooting. But the bench especially, like, you got Crawford, you got Bjelica, Gorgie Jang is good. Jamal Crawford and Gorgie Jang could work. I think they need, like, backup guard play. That's probably, besides Jamal, I mean, I guess he can run point and whatever. I'm just struggling to find a lot of weaknesses with this team, and I'm struggling to wonder why people aren't counting them as a huge threat in the Western Conference and just for years to come. Like, this team has built a really nice, just solid foundation for itself over the next few years. I'm saying that word foundation a lot. Jamal Crawford, by the way, like I said, he's probably not going to be that much of a difference maker for that long for this team. I think his contract's like 1 or 2 years, while it wouldn't be longer than that. So, you know, that whatever that means for you guys. This team, like I said, I think they could be 3 or 4 seed. I think in a year or two they're championship contenders, because they got to get it together. They got to figure stuff out. And even if they figure stuff out by the postseason, I mean, I could see this team taking on the Warriors and, you know, taking a few games from them in a series. I could really see them and the Warriors going to 6 games. That's just me. If you guys think I'm crazy, let me know why, please, because let me know the downfall of this team, why this isn't working. Am I overrating Jimmy Butler? I'm trying to tell you guys, like, I've looked into this. Well, is Jimmy Butler really that good? I think he is. My biggest concern is just how this team is going to work together. What can everybody contribute? And what will the chemistry be like? The chemistry is the most important part, in my opinion. It's not about their skills, because their skills are phenomenal. I don't think there's a problem with that. That's going to do it for this video. As you guys know, I got this video off a suggestion. So if you want to see a video on something, please leave a comment. What do you want to see? I'll try to address it. I did it this time. I'm trying to get more into that because it's the off season. There isn't that much to do right now. So yeah, we'll figure that out. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Like this up if you enjoy. And see y'all later. Peace out.